And here, KSMO Radio, your hometown radio station. It is Intercounty Tuesday. Oh, we remember Intercounty Tuesday, especially in February. Intercounty Tuesday is a special Intercounty Tuesday. We're going to talk about an essay contest.
We are.
Yes.
We're going to talk about
Heather
a
is
couple
here,
of good
by the
things.
gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway, Heather is here. And yes, this is obviously February, the month of the Junior Essay Contest
Right.
that Intercounty puts on every year. And we very rarely ever talk about it.
I know. We need to do a better job, don't we?
Guess so. Anyway, nonetheless, it is an incredible opportunity. Whether you're a grandparent, a parent, sibling, whatever, if you have a junior in high school and you've already been to Salem High School, explain the
yeah.
whole protocol.
Yep.
They've still got time to get in their essay for Intercounty, and this year's theme is
This year we're asking them to write about a lesson they've learned in life so far.
now.
It's pretty wide open.
That's about as diverse as it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be anything.
Right. And that's what we've told them, and we've had some kids tell us, one of them, he's an athlete at one of the schools, and he said, I'm going to write about how I've learned practice is important. He's like, because coach always says that, but
Didn't believe it.
I don't know if he missed some practices, if his game maybe wasn't as good as it normally was, but he very specifically, that popped in his head when we first came and spoke. He's like, yeah, I know what I'm going to talk about. And we had a young lady at one of the schools say when she was younger, she was bullied, and that has really made an impact on her life. And so she said she's going to write about, she's learned the importance of kindness and being kind and what difference that can make. So I think we're going to have a real variety of essays, and the topic lends itself to that.
Sure.
They've all had different life experiences, so they have learned different things in life. So
It can be from something tragic. It can be from
Yeah.
something euphoric. It can
Absolutely.
come from anywhere. So there is no right answer. There's no wrong answer. But actually, what it might do though is actually open the eyes of these children, and I say children, and I mean that they still are at junior in high school,
Yeah.
to what really matters.
right.
Because a lot of times I know when my brother was killed in a car accident, it changed my life. I mean, it really did. Before that, I was pretty, I'm it. I kind of
Right.
thought that,
Invincible and
yeah, you could do anything. And then after that, I saw how many people attended his funeral and
the impact.
how little I had done to try and spread the wealth of anything, help out people when they need it, or, go to a friend's house when he's down and stuff like that. That just wasn't me. Get away from me. You figure it out,
Yeah.
And really, really just
Change
kind of
it.
hit me in the face with a sledgehammer. Like, wow,
Yeah.
you need to change, dude.
Yeah. And I think we're going to have some pretty emotional essays. We'll probably
will.
have some that are lighthearted. I'm interested to read the top essays from each school, but we did visit each of the schools in January, so deadlines will be in February. Now, I can't give you an exact deadline because
Every
we let
school's got a
each
different one,
school
right?
set their own. But here in Salem, if you're listening, Miss Sanders, the counselor there, she is the one that coordinates this program.
Okay.
And so the students can check with her on what their deadlines are. Normally, they're mid to late-ish February, because the last day of February, the top ones are going to be due back to Intercounty.
Right.
So they have to have time to, remove the names and number them and have a panel judge them, and they take care of all that there.
It's hard to believe we're near mid-February
I
already.
know.
It just
Yeah.
started.
It did, yeah.
Like
I
yesterday.
know, right?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
Just like
it's the
started.
10th, right? Today's the
Yeah,
10th?
it's the
yeah,
10th.
it's the 10th. Holy
And with a
moly.
short month, that makes it even closer to
Yeah.
mid-February.
Yeah, crazy.
It is crazy. But it's an opportunity. Now, these kids do not have to write a 12-page essay
No.
on this. It's 500 words
Max.
max.
250 to 500 words. So these kids
Max.
can meet that 250 word requirement with a single page.
Now, think about this topic that I think is so great is you can't AI this.
It has to be personal.
It has to be personal. So you can't AI it and say, okay, so if I had this happen and this happened, I mean, it could generate something for you, but
You're
it's
gonna
not going to be personal if you do that.
you're gonna have to you're gonna have to input a lot of personal details. At that point, it's your story. AI's helping them polish it. Um, you can't prevent all of that.
Yeah, you got to watch when AI gets hold of your personal story. It does seem to change it. It genericizes it to me. It just makes it generic. I had to write something for the St. Louis University Billikens. Well, I played on their hockey team, and they've got a book coming out. 10 years of Billiken hockey. It was really a crazy thing. But anyway, the idea is they wanted your personal story. Well, my personal story ended up being like 6 pages because there was no way I was supposed to make the team, and I did.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of stuff to tell people, like why I wasn't supposed to make the team. You started too late. All these excuses everybody kept giving me, and then I made the team. So when I put that all together, then I just went ahead and put it through AI just to see what it would do, and all of a sudden, I didn't recognize what the story was.
It changed
I said,
that
that's
much.
not my story. That's somebody else's story.
Yeah.
That's been kind of genericized.
Yeah.
So
that's a
by the best word I can use, and
Yeah.
it really has. So again, if you have a junior, and it's only juniors,
That's right.
My gosh, so
Yep.
it's only juniors in your household, not even in your household, but you're related to or you know of. It doesn't even make any difference. You go to church with them, you see them at the playground. I don't care.
Yeah.
Remind them this is an opportunity you're not going to get again.
Absolutely. And the young woman that won the contest last year from here in Salem, McKenna Faulkner, got to go to DC. She's come back. She helped us present to this year's juniors, talk to them about her experience. She actually did one of her FFA speeches on the electric co-op. She's coming back to the co-op in April. She's going to come to our grassroots, our auxiliary meeting, and kind of talk about Youth Tour there too. So it's free. It's very fun, but it opens more doors than just a really fun free summer trip. And if that's all these kids want it to be, and they come back and they don't want to be involved with anything else, they've still learned a little bit. We know that they do. While they're out there, they have a lot of fun, but hopefully, a little bit of the history. They take that with them, and the way government works, and hopefully some patriotism, and just it's an amazing experience. But it really does open doors afterwards, and that's what we try to stress to these kids. Like, you're coming back, you're coming into your senior year, you've got to fill out scholarship applications and college applications, and even the ones going straight into the workforce. They've got to fill out a job application and have a resume. So to be able to list something like this really shows that they've gone above and beyond when they didn't have to.
Anything that makes you stand out in an application,
Right.
Can do nothing but make it better for you. Now, whether it's a job application or you're trying to advance yourself in a position, if you have done these things or taken the time to do these things, people know you'll put in the effort.
Right.
They know that you're going to try these. And it really does make a difference on how people perceive you. So, again, it's a great opportunity, and there really are no losers in this, because even if your essay isn't selected for the trip to D.C. or the cycle program, even if it's not, boy, you're going to get a good insight into yourself, though.
Yeah.
Just think how good that's going to be.
And what we tell the kids is, at 250 words, a page essay, half an hour? Let's say max an hour. They spend an hour writing this. An hour out of their whole life to write an essay.
1 hour, D.C.
Right.
Wow.
Right, yeah. That's a pretty good return.
Or even Jeff City, 1 hour, Jeff City. Mm-hmm. It's still a pretty
And
good
even
deal.
if they don't, even like you said, even if they don't make one of the top spots, if their essay's not selected, they've not invested a ton of time. We're not asking them to do a research project and spend hours gathering data and just
Right.
Hopefully the time investment is so minimal. And that makes it sound like it's not important, but hopefully it doesn't take up so much of their time that that's the barrier that keeps them from
Well, you don't have
trying.
to do any research.
No,
None.
absolutely not.
This is all you.
That's right.
Now, you may need to sit. Maybe you need to take a little walk, come back with your ideas and put them down,
Mm-hmm.
or sit there and think and shut your phone off and go away from the TV and
Right.
escape yourself from all other distractions you may have. And maybe that's family. Sometimes family can be a big distraction when you're trying to think. So take a little walk, or
Mm-hmm.
go to a private place, or go sit down the roadside park and watch the stream go by and listen to the water. And maybe it'll generate those ideas you need to put down on paper, and then write them down. Then come back and write your essay. Look, it's all about you. What happened to you? What one event, maybe two events, something happened to change and make the person you are today. What was that?
And maybe it's not something that happened to them, but maybe it's something they've witnessed.
Well, that
You know,
too.
they've learned a life lesson based on what they saw happen to someone else. That there's just a ton of possibilities, and what we've shared with the kids is it's probably, and maybe this isn't accurate, it's probably going to take them longer to narrow down what they're going to write about than it will actually take once they figure out what they're going to write about to get 250 words on a piece of paper. So I think the essay should be fairly simple for them. Once they make one of those top spots, then we're going to give those kids a Q&A packet. And next month when I'm here, we'll have the finalists' names.
Woohoo!
So we'll get to brag on those kids. But then they'll come to the intercounty office. They're going to do an interview, which if we think we had to rope them into writing an essay, you ought to see the looks on their faces when we tell them, oh, the next step is an
It's a
interview.
one-on-one, yeah. It's a
They turn
personal interview.
white, and some of them just totally check out, and they're like, nope, not for me. But very short. It takes about 5 minutes. We give them a study guide ahead of time so they get the questions and answers. But it's good practice for them.
In the real world, if you have to go on a personal interview for a job, you can't check out. You have to do it.
And you don't get the questions and correct answers ahead of time. So
Usually that's the case.
yeah, yeah.
But the neat thing, though, about what Intercounty does, obviously, this is a good chance for you to sit down and really examine what's happened to you in your first 16 years in life.
Right.
17 years in life. You get a chance to see it. I guarantee you there's more than one event that has shaped the way you are right now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Has to be. Because I know when I played my first baseball game as a little kid, I remember that. I just remember putting the uniform on, how proud I was, how good I thought I was, how that changed. And then like I said, how the influence of the death of my brother was to me. And then different things. When you go back over your lifetime, and you ask older people, they'll really say they can probably pinpoint the 7 or 8 events that really changed their life. As a young person, you may have 30 of them because everything you're experiencing is new.
Yeah.
How did it change you? How did it make you better? Come on, this is a good essay. Make it a good one.
Yeah.
Give it your best.
Yeah. We're excited.
Yeah.
And the kids seem excited. I mean, in
Yeah.
general, and maybe I'm just overly optimistic, and I leave those schools and I'm like, hey, did you see they were excited?
Yeah.
But they seemed genuinely like they were interested. Of course, there's some kids in every grade. They're not going to write an extra essay. They don't.
No, I get it.
Even if they were the best writer at the school, they probably don't want to participate because for whatever reason. But there was genuine interest at each school, and these kids, a lot of times, it seems like they kind of get dogged a little bit. And I'll tell you, Stan, it's really rewarding to be a part of this program because we get to see that these kids are breaking the stereotypes of
Yes.
what people think about them. And there's some really good high school kids. They just are. And maybe there's some that aren't, but I'd say every generation has had that. So we've got some great kids. We had some genuine interest. I'm really excited to see these top essays and get to know these kids and get them through that interview process and send them on trips this summer.
So if you have a youngster who's a junior and they may miss the assembly, have them get in touch with Sarah
right.
Sanders over at the high school
Right.
if you're in Salem. or any of the most of them are they mostly counselors in most of the
So
schools around
Rolla,
here?
you probably have some in the Rolla listening area. Miss Muma, she is
Okay.
Dr. Ray's secretary,
Okay.
actually, assistant, and she takes care of coordinating the program there.
St. James.
And St. James has 3 new English teachers this year. So those talk to the junior English teachers. Any of the 3 of them, they're working together to coordinate that.
Okay.
But if you ask the counselor or the English teacher, Rolla is unique, but the rest of the schools are either the counselor or the junior English teacher. So ask one of them or give us a call and say, hey,
Who
I'm
do I
actually
talk
from
to?
Plato. Who do I talk to? And we'll get you the correct information for whatever school your student attends.
Now we always kind of harp on the DC trip, which obviously it is the first place prize,
Right.
and really it is an incredible trip, and we're not going to slight that at all. But if you even come in second and third, going to Jeff City and being a part of that trip, that's very rewarding as well.
It is, and talk about resume builders. That's something that these kids can take back with them their senior year and beyond that. But yeah, so Jeff City a few years ago they added an extra day because what we heard feedback wise from the students once they went on that trip was it was too short. I wanted more time. And so we added an extra day a few years ago, and they spend one whole day in St. Louis, so it's not even in Jeff City. We get them up early. We take them to St. Louis. We go to the Arch. They go to the City Museum, which is not a museum. It's a giant
It's a day of
playground.
fun.
Yes. And then they wrap up the evening at Dave and Buster's. They give them game cards. They
day
make
of
sure.
fun.
Yeah, it's just a fun day in St. Louis. And you'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't, but to me it's surprising how many of the students that we take to St. Louis that have never been to St. Louis.
Oh yeah, well, I
You know,
believe that.
that's an experience for them to get to go to the Arch, to go to the City Museum, to go to Dave and Buster's. And even if they've been before, it's a totally different experience with 100 other kids your age.
Oh, yeah.
You're not there with mom and dad.
Nope.
You're there with 100 kids.
100 soon to be friends.
Right, absolutely. So, Jeff City, it sometimes we see students leave the interview when they've been awarded the Jeff City trip and they feel a little discouraged, let down. Like you said, they're all shooting for that DC trip, but they come back and they've just had an amazing time. And they didn't go to DC, and sure they would have loved DC too, but they loved the experience they had in Jeff City, and they get to do things like tour the Missouri State Penitentiary, and they get to go out on the House floor, which is not something, even if they've been to the Capitol before, you don't get to walk out on
Create
the House
your own
floor.
bill. May not actually be passed into real law.
Right, it won't be passed into real law. Some of them are kind of goofy some years, but you know, it gives them that hands-on experience. Oh, this is what I learned in government class. It makes sense. I worked through that process. I remember that. They have a better understanding of it, and they get to do it with these new friends. And like I said, sometimes it's goofy. I think a few years ago, they passed, I'm saying that in air quotes, they passed a bill that purple shirts could not be worn in Jeff City or something to that effect. And it was goofy, but they still had to propose it. They had to debate it. The process
It's the same.
is what they learned.
It's the same for all of them.
And so, you know, they get that. They have some motivational speakers come in. Casey Wolf, the Kansas City Chiefs mascot who's
mascot, right.
retiring. He comes and speaks to him. He has an amazing life story. Could have been very tragic, and he speaks with them. And then, of course, after all the seriousness, he's like, "Hey, you want to see my Super Bowl rings?" And he pulls out these giant rings, and he has his costume, and he talks to the kids about leaving an impact and how the choices that you make every day affect your life and the lives of others. So
Which is really what you're writing about.
it is, yeah. So he's an incredible speaker. They have a hypnotist come in one evening and just a lighthearted. They don't have to participate. They can just observe and watch, which is a lot of fun. They make friends, and you tell these teenagers that, and they're like, "Yeah, right, whatever. I don't need any more friends. I'm not gonna make friends." And they do, and they come back and they tell you all about it. And
Sure.
they're different kids.
But the neat thing, it's not just friends; it's contacts for later in life.
That's
You
right.
know, these people that you're meeting, you may end up going to college with them. You may end up working with them at a business somewhere, or you may find out that they have something that when you're at another location, maybe you're working in Kansas City and they're in Springfield, and they have they represent a product that you might need, and you
Right.
say, "Hey, I remember you from Jeff City."
And those contacts are very important in your adult life.
But
And
kids don't understand that.
not yet, they don't,
They
but
don't.
hopefully, through some of these processes, they start to understand. We talked about McKenna earlier. She's understanding. She's,
Yeah.
those connections, and I work with other people in co-ops across the state. They work with people who went on this trip when they were juniors, and when they applied at the co-op, and they could show that when they were a junior, they went to this trip. That's like I don't want to say a free pass to an interview, but it's very impressive, and it tells the co-op employees, oh, they already know a little bit about co-ops. They went on this trip. They understand our business model.
They took the initiative to write the
Yeah,
essay.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So I can't think of one reason why you wouldn't have a junior write this essay. I can't think of one, unless they don't want to. But that'd be the only reason. Otherwise, you have nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Right.
And again, juniors, this is it. This is the month.
We're in the final stretch.
I mean, yeah. And if you haven't written your essay yet, and if you're listening in, hopefully you're not in school listening in because you're going to get in trouble. But, I mean, if you have a son, a daughter, grandson, granddaughter,
Right.
nephew, niece, whatever it might be, ask them if they've submitted this essay. This isn't, again, not everybody gets to go to D.C. Not everybody gets to go to Jeff City. There's only going to be a total of 3 that get a chance to even take any of these trips from Salem School.
Right, from each
3
high
from
school.
St. James, 3 from Rolla. A lot more competition in Rolla, bigger school. You have an opportunity to win an incredible opportunity for you to grow, number one.
Right.
Number 2, to experience something more than likely you have never done.
Yeah.
And then 3, what life-changing experiences this could provide for you with the people you meet.
That's right. Yeah. Good stuff. Amazing
I
opportunity.
don't see anything bad about this. I can't.
No.
All right, Heather, we just we'll tell them one more time. It's
Write the essay.
This month
Yes.
only. Again, it has to be in. If you're not sure the date, please get in touch with Sarah Sanders here at the Salem High School. She can tell you when the due date is. And again, have that junior write that essay.
Yes.
Again, it's
It's
all
easy.
personal experiences. It's not something they have to research. It's very easy. And if you're just joining us, again, we really do appreciate you being along with us. But Intercounty Electric is one of many co-ops that does this. There's a lot of people that go on these trips.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's just Intercounty and they're the only ones.
Right. Yeah. So last year there were 108 students from Missouri that traveled out to DC together, and there's around 1,500 high schoolers from across the nation that are all out there at the same time.
Wow.
They take up, they all stay in the same resort. There are some rooms that we don't take, and there are unexpected guests that had no idea they scheduled their vacation when 1,500 high schoolers are also going to be there. But they get to experience that with all those kids. And then we had just over 100 go to Jeff City for the cycle, for the
Sure.
statewide trip. So even that trip, you've got 100 other students your age that you're meeting those 4 days and getting to spend time with. So big deal.
I wish I could play, but
The time has
the time has
passed
slipped
for
me
them.
by.
Yeah.
I'm not even a junior anymore now.
Now you're senior.
Yeah. Anyway, well, again, it's an incredible opportunity. We hope every junior out there does take advantage of this.
Yes.
I just really wish that when I was in school that this opportunity would have been there. I know I'd have been writing it. I probably would have written 15 of them, submitted all different names.
Make your odds a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, go to bet 365, see what odds I have on winning this thing.
You take all 3 top
Sure,
spots.
why not? Wouldn't that be great? That would be a problem, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like busted.
Yeah, these 3 essays are fantastic. They're all kind of similar, though. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go to all 3. I don't think that'll work very well. So.
No.
Anyway, but nonetheless, we do hope that all the kids do participate who are juniors. And if you're a sophomore or you have a child that's a sophomore, this will happen next year.
Every year, yeah.
They've been doing it for a long time. We've been talking about this for a long time, and we really, really think this is an incredible opportunity for your youngster. Like I said, once in a lifetime maybe to get a chance to do this. And it's free.
It is, yeah. No fundraising. You're not having to sell candy bars or
I mean, you might
or
take a few extra
sales.
spending dollars with you, but I mean, as far as travel, stay, lodging, the admission to all these different places, it's free.
It is free, and we send them with spending money, so they don't even.
Well, I know, but you know how people are.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they're going to want souvenirs, and
Yeah.
they want to buy something from mom or sister or
Yeah.
brother or whatever.
That's where we get them. Hey, you have to write an essay. Ugh, that sounds awful. Hey, then the second part is you have to do an interview. They're like, eh. Then we tell them it's free. Then it's kind of like, okay. But then we tell them if you go to D.C., we give you $200 cash to take with you. Oh, like we should probably lead with that. Maybe they'd pay attention to the rest.
Would you like to win $200?
Yeah.
But only if you get to go to D.C.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to change my tactics next year,
There you go.
but
That's strategies.
That's a big deal for them to be able to not only get to go and not have to pay out of pocket for anything, mom and dad not having to pay out of pocket for anything. They get to take spending money with them and spend it however they want. Yep. And we had kids come back last year. Some of them blew it in the first day or two. Some of them brought the whole amount back and took it on family vacation. We don't care what they do. It's part of winning. Yeah. That's part of the prize package, if you will. So huge opportunity. If you have a junior, please encourage them, bribe them. I'm not against any of that. Get them to write that essay. They will not regret it. I promise you.
You shouldn't have to bribe them.
I'm just saying if you have to. I'm not going to judge you if you have to.
Do what you ever have to do just to get them to write the essay. And from there, let them take it as far as they can go.
Yeah.
Once the essay is written, they submit it. If it's chosen, they'll get a chance to interview. If they get the interview, if they nail the interview and they go to D.C., congratulations. If they're a little shy in their interview and they go to Jeff City, still congratulations.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's a really neat thing. If they make one of those top spots, they're winning something.
Yeah.
Then they just got to work for that top price, the D.C. trip.
There you go. Very good. Very good. All right. Okay. Well, I think we're done with that.
I do too.
I think we're done with that. All right. What else do you have to talk about here in February? Valentine's Day is coming up Saturday.
Valentine's Day is coming up. Yeah. Halfway through the month. It'll be this weekend. Talk about the month going by. There is one really exciting thing that I want to talk about, but you mentioned something that made me think of, I need to talk about this. I had no plans to. You talked about...
That's why I'm here.
When we were talking about the essay topic being about a life lesson you've learned, and you were talking about some of the older generation, lots of lessons that they've learned.
Sure.
Something that I'm doing this year because it's Intercounty's 90th anniversary, which is 90 years.
It's a long time.
It is. So I've been doing a history piece in the magazine each month, going back into some really old records and learning a lot about the co-op that I've worked at for almost 23 years, which
you didn't know anything about.
I should have already known, but it's been really eye-opening. But I've had a chance to talk to a couple of ladies, and I've got one that I'm going to interview this month that they remember when the lights came on and what that was like in their home when they went from not having power to having power. So if you're listening and you've got some years on you and you remember when the lights came on, when power came to your home, I would love to meet with you, speak with you, tell your story, get you in the magazine. It's really impactful to our members to hear that, to hear what it was like when the lights came on. We take for granted coming home, flipping the switch, turn the lights on, washing the laundry, putting the groceries in the fridge, and that wasn't always the case for our family members. And so if you remember that, or if you know someone, maybe they're not listening, but you know someone, maybe you've got a grandparent or someone that does remember that, please, I would love if you reached out and just ask for me, and we'll
Obviously,
chat.
they were
And
youngin' when that happened.
yeah, so
Wow.
the lady that'll be in the next month's magazine in March, she actually moved from St. Louis when she was 8 down to our service territory and moved to a home that didn't have power. So her experience was a little different. Had it,
That had to be a cultural shock.
yeah, huge. So we kind of share a little bit about that and her story. So yeah, if you remember that, I'd love to chat with you. We'll tell your story and get it out there, because it's good to
Well,
remember.
it's fantastic. It really is when people think it's always been there. You know, and that's why history should never ever be forgotten, and history should always be studied, because we have continued to change. Everything changes. We all know that. You know, we all remember Stretch Armstrong back in the 1980s.
Right.
It was the greatest thing since sliced bread. You try and find one now, and if you do, you're gonna
Pay for it.
You're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
But it's still cool. It's still Stretch Armstrong, but it's still cool. The thing is, but everything with history changes. You can go back. You know, I was talking to the boys here. I remember getting a Brother 286 computer. You know, holy cow. You know, you're thinking, and at that time, that was like the thing to have, you know, a 286. Wow. Then it went to 386. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
You know, you're at the top notch. I mean, you're a computer whiz. That didn't mean I know anything about it, but I had it, and you had to learn it. And
Yeah.
the thing was a little bit easier to use back then because it was still in its infancy, and there was a lot of things that you could learn. You didn't have online. You couldn't go online. There was no tutorials. There was no YouTube. There was none of that stuff. If you needed to learn it, you had to go to a class.
Right.
And you sat down in class and you wrote on pencil and on paper how to do this. And you know, I think people back in that earlier time when it was DOS. I remember going to college when it was Fortran and COBOL. All math. Computers had nothing to do with text. It was all math
Yeah.
equations. And science. That's really all it was.
I'm from the Oregon Trail generation.
Yeah, well, I'm from prehistoric times. Anyway, but the thing is that, okay, you learned it from the bottom and learned up. DOS,
Right.
you learned how to do DOS. You learned how to do
Right.
BASIC. You learned that. You learned you had to do basically all the different steps, you know, just how this says, you know, if it's yes, you go here. If it's no, you go here. How you write your program. It was a really good introductory case. Now you see these guys that just all of a sudden they're finding through codes and stuff of this nature. Like, we didn't have any of that. You were learning how to build the program. Well, nowadays, you see these kids that step into that, but they don't know the history.
Right. And the history of that is so important. The history of anything is very important, and that's lost when the stories aren't shared, when they're not told. So I hope that we've got some readers that have been reading those stories and finding that information interesting, and hopefully we'll have more people reach out that remember what it was like when they first got power in their home.
Right.
Because
90
then,
years isn't that long ago.
right. And we can share that story and that way people can learn and know what it was like and what their experience was like. So
And I'm wondering
it's
when
been
Inter
good.
County came in and put poles in, if that didn't help the phone system.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure it did. I mean, how could
Party
it not?
lines were all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't know what that means. They think,
No.
oh, I get to call a line for a party? No.
No, it was a party on the
You know,
line.
party on the line. You never knew who was going to be on there.
Yeah.
And, but it was interesting times. It was a different time. And it was simpler. It really was simpler. You didn't have all, well, I'll call technological noise out there. There's something in your face all the time.
Yeah.
But still, be it as it may, that would be a great story to read.
Yeah. So call me.
From somebody
We'll
else.
visit.
Not a historical book, from a personal view.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah. Because
when they
we
finally got there.
We want to share a co-op history, and we're doing that. But we want to put in these personal touches too. And I know it's been rewarding to get to speak with these individuals and share their story, and hopefully other people are enjoying reading it, and they'll have all year, because we're here all year. We're here all year. We'll be
Ooh, wow.
sharing information. So
So how do they get in touch with you, Heather, if they have a question or two to ask you about how to get a hold of them, or maybe, obviously we're talking about elder citizens here.
yeah. So the first month, the lady that I spoke with, she's turning 100 this year.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yes, amazing, amazing lady. And then this last month, the woman that I spoke with was in her early 90s. She was the one that moved here from St. Louis, and got a lady lined up from Licking area, actually, that I believe she's in her 90s as well, and still gets out and gets around and drives where she wants to go, and is excited to tell her story. So
That's just so cool.
there's people with stories to tell, and you guys are going to get to read them. So
That's fantastic.
yes, so reach out if you want to share your story. The toll-free number is 866-621-3679, and if you ask for Heather, they'll transfer you to me. Or if you say anything about rural Missouri's story when the lights came on, they're going to also send you to me. Any of those keywords, they're gonna know who to get you to.
And just because the co-op started in 36 doesn't mean you had electric in 36.
No, absolutely
You may
not.
not have gotten it until 38 or 39.
Well, and
depending
it
on
took,
where you are.
We were established in December of 1936. We didn't energize line for
Right.
several years.
Yeah.
And
So even when you did energize line initially, it may not have been where you are.
No, because you think about our service territory. If you looked at a map of where we cover now, we weren't just automatically everywhere all at once. We had to build out and
That'd have been
expand.
cool, though.
And
Snap your fingers. And
yeah, that'd be
and
cool.
Poles were up and lines. And
Where's the money come from for that? Is you snap,
Magic.
it comes too with it, right? Yeah.
magic.
But yeah, it's been interesting, reading about how the co-op in those early days, it's like they needed a typewriter, but they didn't have the money for it. And they needed accounting supplies. Those were more important. They didn't have the money for that, so they had to charge it. You talk about the history of our co-op and kind of where we started and how we got to where we are now. It's been really interesting. Lots of little tidbits.
It's like any other business trying to start up, and you're trying to provide a service there too. So, and how many people were resistant to electricity at the time? And there were some.
Yeah, I'm sure there were some. What I've been finding out is that there was less resistance to electricity and more resistance to the outside contractors that were being brought in to do the labor. They're trying to do it at the most affordable price. That's the co-op way. That was the only way they were making it work. And so a lot of times the lowest bidder to do the labor was big contractors from like St. Louis. And our local people were not very happy.
didn't
And
like
so
that, yeah.
they were vandalizing some of that equipment and kind of just being a little rowdy. And so then the contractor said, okay, we'll hire local labor
Subcontract,
where we
yeah,
can.
yeah.
Yeah. So interesting.
It's a good story.
It is.
It's a
Yeah.
good story. So
absolutely.
it's good reading in rural Missouri. If you don't get the Rural Missouri magazine,
You can read it online.
exactly.
Yeah, we've got a digital copy. So if you go to our website, it's IECA.coop, C-O-O-P. And if you scroll down just a little bit, we always keep the link to the most recent magazine. You can click on that. But once you're on there, there's a little toolbox that lets you view prior
Sure.
issues. So you could go back if there was something last year or 2 years ago that you missed, you wanted to look back at. You can access all of that from that single link.
But if you're not getting the magazine, maybe you stopped getting it back.
Yeah, that's
a while
true.
back. You can get the magazine.
You can, yep.
If
So
you're
if
an
you-
intercounty,
If you're a member,
co-op
and
member.
we have some members that have turned it off in the past because they just want the digital one, or maybe they're getting more than one copy because they've got a business and a home or something. But yeah, at any time you can turn that back on or you can turn it off. We can do that as often as you call and request it. Don't encourage you to.
every month.
Every month,
Please
no.
don't do that.
No.
But all you gotta do is call intercounty,
Yeah.
and they can take care of that for
Yep,
you.
absolutely.
Okay, so it's really, and it truly is a great magazine. I encourage people
Lots
to
of information.
always check it out. You'll find the best of Missouri in there. You'll find little small towns that have some pretty unique restaurants or some unique events going on there that you may not know otherwise.
Yeah.
Because, small towns have a hard time of trying to get information out about what they do. Because they're competing with the big guys. They don't have the advertising dollars that St. Louis, Kansas City, Jeff City, Springfield do. They don't have it.
Right.
But they still have some pretty cool stuff that's going on in smaller towns. I always recommend check out in the back of your rural Missouri. They've got a list of events.
For every month.
Please look at those. And because if you may think, well, I'm not interested in this or this or this, but you might find something in there that you are interested in. Maybe there's one town, Bakersfield at one time did a seed exchange. A seed exchange. Now, if you're not into growing anything, not a big deal. But if you are, and you want some seeds that you just can't seem to find, why would you go to Bakersfield and do a seed exchange? You've got plenty of this type of seed, and you can swap it for that type of seed.
And just a reminder that if you have an event going on, maybe you work for an organization where you are the one that's planning and trying to advertise, you can put that information in the magazine. If you go to Rural Missouri's website, there's a place on there where you can submit an event. Now, keep in mind, you don't want to do that the week or two before it happens, because the way publications work is
Need a couple of months ahead of time.
Yeah, but if you know you've got an event coming up, hop on their website, submit that event so that can get in there.
Very good. It's always a good thing to look through that. Trust me, you'll find events in there every month that you never have heard of. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
As I looked through there and I said, I never even heard of that town.
Right.
Where are they? And then it gets you interested in where
then
are they?
Then you got to look it up.
Yeah, and then you got to go find it. And then when you find it, you think, well, that's not that far away.
I'm going to go do this.
I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people get wrapped up in their everyday life, and they just don't see outside. There's a small sphere, and they're all locked in that little sphere, and they just don't.
We get busy.
There's not that you don't want to find these things. It's just that you just don't even think about it. So, do yourself a favor. Open up your horizons and take a look at the back of that magazine. See some pretty cool stuff that goes on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very good.
And then read our pages, too.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
There's always some good articles. Very good articles in there. And then, of course, the inter-county page is in the middle.
That's right.
You can't miss them.
Smack dab in the middle.
Yeah. I always like to read those things that's going on.
Good.
It's always good. By the way, speaking of things going on, don't forget, next Monday.
Office is closed.
Office is closed.
Yeah. Did a little extra time off with your family and friends, so.
President's Day next Monday.
That's right.
Just those are the kind of things you'll find in rural Missouri as well. Intercounty announces in there the days that they would be closed or their holiday hours when Thanksgiving and Christmas rolls around, or when they will be open and when they won't be open.
Right. Lots of information.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Always recommend reading it. What else did you need to talk about today?
Well, something that was in the magazine that hopefully is no surprise to our members listening because they've already read it, but we are doing something a little out of the ordinary. We talk about capital credits a lot, but a handful of times in the past, our board has approved a member discount, and they've done that again this year. And so this month in February, our members, they have to be existing members. They're going to receive their portion of a $2 million member discount, and that's going to be based on their usage last year from January to November. So if you're a member now and you had service with us between January and November, you will receive a part of that $2 million discount. It works similarly to capital credits in the sense that if you used more power at your home than I did, you're going to have a larger portion of that than I would. But it's different from capital credits in the sense that our capital credits are on about a 20-year cycle. And we've talked before about why does that make sense, but talking about history, they didn't have it to give back those first couple decades because they were reinvesting it in the growth of the co-op. So what we paid out in capital credits this year were from 2005 and 2006. Last year, January and February especially, were abnormally cold. It was very cold, and it was very cold for very long stretches of time. And we brought in a lot of revenue in excess of what we expected. And then the rest of the year, we met or exceeded budget anyway. So we were sitting in a fine spot financially. We were able to retire some capital credits, but there was so much brought in January and February. And the really unique and the amazing thing about being a member of a co-op is that when we are successful financially, that is returned to our members. It doesn't go in our pocket. It doesn't get returned to investors. It goes back to our members because it's our members' money. So our board said, hey, we know we don't do this very often. It's unusual, but the weather was unusual. The amount of revenue that we brought in was unusual. So we want to do a discount, and that's why they're doing it. That's how it's different. But in the past, like I said, we have done this a handful of times. It's been several years since we
I
had.
was gonna say I don't remember it in the last 5 to 8 years. I really don't remember.
Yeah,
it.
that's probably touching back. That time frame is touching back on the last time that we've done it. But how we've always done it is that it was a discount on their bill.
Oh, okay.
And
maybe I do remember that.
So the member discount, you would have, say your bill this month would have been $150 and you got a $20 discount, you would have only had amount due of $130. That discount showed up on your bill. The problem with that is a lot of us, we just look at what's our total due. And so we don't even realize that there's a discount on there. And we want there to be some transparency. We're not giving a discount, but keeping it like, oh, we'll just take it off your bill. Yes, it's the same. You're still getting that discount, but we want our members to be able to use that in the way that is most beneficial to them.
Sure.
So new this year is the option to receive a gift card. So it's like a loaded card, and there's going to be one of 3 ways. I'll try to explain this as simply as possible. If your discount amount is less than $10, we're going to put it as a discount on your electric bill.
Makes
So
sense.
look at your bill and look to see if there's a discount on there next month. If your portion of that was less than $10, financially it just made more sense to put that as a discount on your bill. So your bill will be less. If the amount that you're owed is over $10, your portion of that discount, we're going to later this month, we've been told late February. So there's that generic term, but late February, our members who have email addresses on file with the co-op, we're going to send them an email that says, hey, do you want to download a digital card right now? Or would you like us to mail you a physical card? That window will be open for a week. And the people who want to download one, they can choose that. They can download that digital gift card and have it right away. That email will also tell them how much is on that digital card, so they'll know the amount. After a week, we are going to mail physical cards to anyone who didn't have an email address on file with the co-op, anyone who didn't reply to the email, or those that replied and said, no, I'd rather have a physical card. So late February, the email will go out. A week after that, we'll mail physical cards. When you get that physical preloaded gift card in the mail, it'll be attached to a letter. There'll be an amount. You'll know how much is on there. There'll be instructions on how to activate that. It's going to be similar to if you got a new debit card in the mail or something. You'll need to activate it, but you can track how much you have remaining on the card, and there'll be a phone number that you can call directly if you have any questions. But that way, the money's in the hands of our members, and if they want to use it to pay towards their electric bill, they can, but if they have other priorities, they can use the gift card for that.
So if you're on levelized billing and you get a discount, and that would lower that amount on the levelized bill for that month?
It would credit your balance. So your levelized amount should still stay the same.
For that 1 month? Or just take it off your balance?
It would take it off the balance.
Okay.
So your amount would stay the same. If you paying $150,
You would not see a discount.
you'll see it on your bill.
Right, but I mean, you would not see a discount in your payment.
Right. And you will, hopefully, if you're on Levelized, you're taking a look at your bill every month to see. And I know
Hopefully.
they don't, because it's
Yeah.
easy to kind of
Exactly.
get complacent.
They did it for budgeting purposes and probably aren't looking at it.
Right. But it shows you every month, hey, am I actually using more? And I'm building up this big balance that
Sure.
on the 13th month, my amount is going to go up because my average has increased.
Right.
Or, hey, is my usage trending down? Do I have an amount that the co-op owes me,
Right.
which then on the 13th month we would lessen.
Right. You
Your
make
amount.
adjustments to the next bill.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So
Well,
exciting.
There you go. It is
Yeah.
exciting. That is exciting.
Kind of multi-layered.
Hopefully,
And,
it's better than the capital credits checks that go out.
well,
I know it's all within the last year.
yeah. And I'm excited for our members to get this because sometimes until you start getting that first capital credit check, our newer members, those that have been with us less than 20 years, they don't understand that we're more than just their utility provider.
Sure.
That we're not for profit, and that means we give back. So members they're gonna see that this month. They're gonna, oh hey, yeah, my bill was really high
You
last
made
month.
more money, more than you anticipated. You're giving it back. That's really
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
Not-for-profits are not allowed to make profits over a long span of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to reinvest it. That's what co-ops do. They reinvest it back in like poles and wire, and that stuff's not cheap.
It's not. And
Not-
especially post-COVID, we saw a huge increase in the cost of our
Sure.
materials. And so expenses have gone up.
Sure.
But because the weather was so extreme last year around this time, there was excess brought in that more than we ever expected.
More than
$2 million
was
we want to
absolutely.
give back.
So again, and that's what, and most people don't understand for not-for-profit. It doesn't mean you're never going to make a profit. You will make profits, but you'll have years of losses as well, because a lot of times when you reinvest into your company, I can just imagine when the automatic meter readers came in. That
That's
had
an
to be a chunk
investment.
of change, millions and millions of dollars, and of course that was probably a lost year for Intercounty, but they had profitable years before that, so you offset those, and that's what it's all about. It's trying to keep the prices lower. That's what not-for-profits
Right.
do. So, really, it's a great. I think it's a great thing to do is give the money back. If you had an excess of revenues over expenses and you have the money and you don't need it to expand or do anything else, absolutely give it back to the people who paid it.
Yep. And that's what we're doing this month. So watch for that email.
Well, that's a Valentine's Day gift right there.
And a good reminder, too, if you don't have your contact information updated with the co-op, please do that, because just like this, if we have your email address, you're going to get the information sooner.
Right.
There are times we're not making phone calls on this specific thing, but there's times when we do call our members. Hey, we're going to be in your area doing right-of-way work, and we want to let you know. Or maybe there's a scheduled outage that's going to affect the substation that you're on
Sure.
because they're doing some maintenance. We are going to notify you based on the contact information we have. So please, if you haven't checked if your information's up to date with the co-op in a while, you can do that through Smart Hub. It's really easy on there to update phone numbers and email addresses. But you can always pop by one of our offices or call us and just say, hey, I'm a member and I want to make sure you have my current information. They will update your phone number, your email address, and then you know it's current.
And you can do that on Smart Hub, too.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, super
Yeah.
easy.
Now, we all know there's a lot of spam emails that go out. And when you get this email, obviously, it's not spam.
It's going to come from
It's
Intercounty
going to come
Electric.
from Intercounty Electric. So look where it does come from.
Yeah.
You know, if it's coming from Genie at iOS or something like that, it's not going to be real. But if you're
Yeah.
getting it from IECA.coop,
And if you're curious, if you get it and you think, oh, I think this is right, but I'm afraid to click on this, call our office.
Yeah.
The member account reps that'll be answering the phone, they're going to know that, hey, the email has went out and this is exactly what it looks like. They're going to have a copy of that. So
Sure.
then they can verify with you, hey, does it say this, or is this the address? They'll have all that information. So if you're hesitant, if you get it and you're worried, just call our
yep,
office.
there you go.
Yeah.
Be sure. There are a lot of spoofs out there.
There are.
We do see them all the time.
Yep.
That you won this or you've got this coming and you ordered this. Like, dang.
Yep. And worst case scenario, you're hesitant, you forget to call, the week passes, we're going to mail you the card. You're not going to miss out
No, you won't
on
miss the
your
card.
part.
No.
So,
Email address or not, but
yeah.
But again, do update that information. Keep Intercounty on top of it, because if you have outages, and you can check a number of different things on Smart Hub, which will notify you on your email,
Right.
Especially if things are going conky-monkered out there.
Yeah.
We do have those kind of days where it gets windy and sometimes there's outages, and
Yeah. You'll
be able to get information.
Yeah,
So
right away.
it's good stuff.
It is.
A lot of good stuff.
A lot
of good stuff.
Lots
today.
of good stuff. I know.
Wow.
That's a
We
good.
need to do more February get-togethers.
Yeah. Once a year, right? Yeah.
Once a year. Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So be looking for that information. You got anything else?
Just remind everyone it is nicer. Hopefully, we're on the downhill slope of winter. You know how big of a fan of winter I am, but it has been cold. We know our members have used more. When your heat's on, just by the nature of the beast, when it's cold and you're trying to heat your home, you got a bigger temperature difference there, so you're going to use more. Just be mindful of the choices you make in your home. There are things you can do, like throw on a long sleeve shirt
Sure.
instead of a tank top, instead of bumping up your thermostat.
Right,
So there's
absolutely.
ways you can manage the usage in your home. And if you know you want to, but you're not sure where to start, again, just give us a call. We can have somebody come out. They can do an energy audit, point out areas in your home that could benefit from some weatherization.
Absolutely.
But also even just a conversation with you over the phone. Hey, have you checked this? Do you know what this is? We can talk to you through some of those things.
And over time, your insulation does thin.
It does. Yeah, absolutely. It settles.
So, it's just time. It just wears.
Gravity. Yeah.
Yeah, wears out. It's not there anymore. And so sometimes a little additional blown-in insulation doesn't hurt a thing. Costs a little bit of money, but it'll save you a lot in the long run.
Yeah.
It really will.
It pays for itself.
I even noticed there's no snow on your roof.
And everybody
After
else does.
An 8-inch snow and your roof you can see shingles or metal. Not good.
Yeah, your heat's rising right up through.
Yeah, that's not
through that
good,
space.
So, again, there are some obvious indicators there's no insulation there, or less insulation there than what should be. So,
Yep. And I'll wrap up with a quick space heater safety reminder, because
it's going to be 70 today.
I know.
Don't talk about space
I know, but these little
I know,
cold dips, instead
I
of turning
know,
their heat
I
on, they
know.
might use a space heater. So please just remember, if you do pull those out and use those intermittently until winter is officially over and behind us, make sure you're using them safely. Don't leave them on when you're asleep or when you leave the house. Huge fire risk there. Of course, inspect the cords. Operate them on a level surface. Keep stuff away from them. I know the newer ones they're safer than they were, but
true.
there's still a heating element. So give them some space. Let them breathe.
Well, and the thing is, there's a filter on some of these new ones.
Yeah.
Make sure you change the filter. If it gets all full of dust and dirt or dust bunnies,
There's your fire hazard right
ain't
next
going
to.
to do you any good.
Yeah.
You're going to be burning more electric to try and create that heat because there's no air getting through it. It has to pull
Yeah.
the air. So again, there's a
Yeah.
lot of. I tell you what, do read the instructional manuals with some of those.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those are very nice to have. They do provide a nice short blast of heat. That's really nice. That's great. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they also tell you to keep it like 18 inches away from curtains, because when that air gets sucked in from the back, it sucks the curtain up.
Makes a little draft.
So it also puts it
Yeah.
right up against the unit, which in essence can be a problem.
Yeah. And remember, too, as it gets warmer, if you had heat lamps put in well houses or dog kennels or heated dog bowls, all these things that you needed when it was freezing, make sure you're turning those off, you're unplugging
Right.
them, you're not using them, because they will continue to draw extra
Sure.
power, and that means a higher bill, and nobody likes that. If
And
they,
the same thing for farmers who have
Yeah.
heated troughs.
yeah, if
Once it's going to be 70 today, you could shut it off
yeah, yep,
and
you
save
could.
yourself a little bit of money.
Yep. And I promise you, in the springtime, we will have members calling in. They're going to recognize their bill is higher. They're going to have no idea why. we're going to send somebody out and there's going to be a heat lamp in the well house. And
It's really toasty in there.
it's going to be toasty, or a space heater. We've found some where they've actually plugged in a space heater and just left it on. So just think of those things that you did in preparation for the freezing temperatures, and make sure when you no longer need those that you're unplugging them and you're turning them off and you're removing them, because there's no sense in using extra and having a higher bill if you don't have to.
Absolutely. Well, Heather, we always appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us.
Yeah.
Our friends from Inter County are here every second Tuesday of the month. We always want to remind everybody, too, this is the day they meet for Roundup.
It is.
Please, if you are in some kind of issue where money has become super tight, and I there are so many ways that this can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That I don't even dare try and say it. It can only happen this way, this way. Whether it be new tires, you've had car issues, health issues, whatever it might be. Or maybe it just all of a sudden you had a collapse of everything that you knew that was solid. Everything went bad. All of a sudden a parent had to go into a nursing home, and this had to happen, and this had to happen. Feel free to check out Roundup. It is a way to get you over the hump. It's not an every year thing. It's not an every month thing. It's a one-time shot, but it will get you back on your feet, or at least get you caught up to where you can feel a little bit more stable in what you're doing.
Right. So Roundup is our assistance organization. It's our charitable foundation. And we meet the second Tuesday of every month. We go over the applications that were received by the last day of the prior month, and they make decisions that day. We have 7 delegates that volunteer their time. They see your application, and 1 employee who coordinates the program, they see your application. Beyond that, it is kept private. That's all. Your privacy is important, and we understand when you're in a situation like you just mentioned, you don't want that shared with everybody. And so that's kept confidential. Right. It's not shared outside of those 8 individuals, and hopefully we can help you or whoever it is that has found themselves in one of those situations.
It's a wonderful thing to have. It's a great thing to contribute to. If you're not a part of Roundup on your bill, it's really easy to do. If you aren't right now, there's a little checkbox on your bill
there
that
is.
you can just put that check in there, and then beginning in about a month or so, after you check that box and send it back in with your payment, you'll start to see your bill is rounded up. That's what it's called. Roundup.
Yeah.
How about that?
I know.
Or if you're an automatic person like I sometimes used to be, but if you have a levelized building, your roundup will be $1 every month.
Yep, if you're unlevelized.
Yeah, so you're going to pay the most. So if you had that, it'll be $12 in a year. But if you're not, normally it's between $5 and $8 that you're going to.
Yeah, over the course of a year.
Right, you're going to be contributing, and it is tax deductible, by the way. But it's not a lot, but it is $5 to $8 usually. Could be as little as $1.
Could, yeah.
Could be as low as 12 cents, really, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Could be.
It'd be unusual if it was only a
really
penny a month.
Unusual, but also it could be, I can mention $12 if you are on levelized billing. So it's a great program. If you want to contribute money to Roundup, you can do that too.
You can.
I mean, they will take a donation. Capital credits checks, if you don't want them and you want them donated to Operation Roundup, you can let Inter County know that.
Yep.
And they can put that money right in there. It's a great organization. It's really helped out a lot of people.
It does. Yep.
I was thrilled when I heard that they were going to start this. I've been around that long.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, but it is a fantastic foundation to help people in a time of need. Not continually, just when they really need the help.
And local people. This really is neighbors helping neighbors, because it's members who are rounding their bill up, and the money has to stay local within Inter County's outermost boundaries. It's not going to Kansas City or Springfield or St. Louis. As the individual or organization, family, whatever, they have to be within Inter County's outermost boundaries. So if you're served by city utilities, we still consider you our neighbors. Maybe you don't live on the line, but you're possibly working on the line. You're our people.
Sure.
You're our communities. And so the money stays local, 100% of it, and 100% of what's donated goes right back out in the communities. The co-op doesn't keep any of that for administrative cost. So
these people are volunteers.
fantastic. Yeah.
to do this work.
Yeah, fantastic program.
It is a great program. All right. Enough said. Heather, as always, we
Yeah.
appreciate you making
Thank
the
you.
drive over. Going to be a nice day. You're going to be a happy girl today.
I know, beautiful. I'll drive
70
real
degrees is
slow
what
on the
they're
way
talking
back.
About. Ooh, you're going to be happy.
Yeah.
You know, it might get a little cooler this weekend.
That's
but
okay.
It's going to be in the 50s, I think. So, but still, it's not going to be 28 inches of snow.
Right? Yeah, that's good.
But we do want to remind everybody, though, there's still 5 weeks of winter
Yeah.
still in front of us. So, again, don't think that we can't have another couple cold spells or more snow, and hopefully not the I word.
We don't like that.
The I word can be really
That's like a
nasty. Well, I'll
four-letter
tell you
word.
what, we really ducked a couple of
We did. Yeah,
really
absolutely
nasty
we
ice
did.
storms that went down south, and I mean to tell you, they were horrible. A half inch to an inch of ice on a line.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't
Yeah.
even want to think about it.
We were relieved.
Yeah, I'll bet. Did you guys have to send anybody down there to help?
To Mississippi, yeah, we sent a crew of 3 down, so we'll brag on them once they
That's a lot.
get back to their families.
That's a lot of destruction when all that ice
Yeah.
hits. It just starts yanking and tearing, and
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
no, and then the sad part about it is you can't get the ice off the trees and everything else around it. So they go put the lines back up, and then the trees would snap, and down another limb would come, and down those lines would come
Right,
again.
the work you just did.
Yeah, so
That's
yeah,
tough.
that would kind of be irritating.
It's hard.
Got to have patience.
That's why I'm not a lineman.
Yeah, you have to have patience. There's no doubt about it. Heather, as always, really do appreciate
Yeah,
you
thank
stopping
you.
in. Intercounty Tuesday on KSMO every Tuesday. It's either Heather or a representative of Intercounty. It'll be here, and we'll be talking about different things. Obviously, the junior essay contest is a big thing today. And again, one last reminder, if you have a junior in your household, if you have a junior that you know of, if you have a junior that you're related to, if you have a junior that you have correspondence with at church or wherever, grab them
Remind
by
them.
the hand and look them straight in the eye and say, write that essay.
Yeah, because the deadline is approaching. So, yes, definitely.
Quickly.
If you know a junior, have them write it.
There you go. Again, thank you for coming
Thank you.
by. Here on KSMO, 1340 AM, 95.7 FM. We also stream our Intercounty Electric interview in case you miss part of it, that you can always go back and say, hey, I didn't catch that. Wonder what that really is. Well, it really is great for you to catch it the first time. But if you can't, I get it. It does happen.
That's okay.
It's part of the game. And if you can't, then we always appreciate you checking out online at KSMORadio.com, KSMO Radio, KSMO Stream Facebook page. I almost forgot what the heck I was doing. And then also our KSMO YouTube page. And you can absolutely take it right from there. And it really does make it kind of easy when you think about it. You can always go online.
Lots
And
of
it'll be up on our
options.
Facebook page as well as our YouTube page. Give it a little moment or two to have to store it, because it does take a minute or two once you do stop the stream. It has to
Save
reload
and,
everything. So, and again, we do thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.